Welcome to this week's podcast. I'm Melissa Nielsen, and I'm excited to have you here today. Today, we're going to talk about something that's really tough. We are going to talk about women, friendships, and relationships, and sometimes when they have to end. And so I'm aptly calling this a reason, a season, a lifetime. So I think that relationships with women can be very tough, very strained sometimes, and be a struggle. I'm no stranger to this. I have been in many situations where obviously I have rubbed somebody the wrong way and they have let me know it or not let me know it and just been really passive aggressive about it. So I think that, it happens to all temperaments. All of us are different. I think that it can be an opportunity for us to go within and sort of ask ourselves, like, what happened here? How did, like in reflecting, did I let go of a piece of myself for this relationship? And that's why this is hurting so bad. Did I overshare? Did I come to a situation that the other person wasn't healthy? And so I'm getting the brunt of the other person's unhealthy relationship. Regardless of what it is, it hurts. So struggling with friendships is something that's just part of being a woman, I think. And I think, unfortunately, it starts when girls are young. And homeschooling, it's no different. One of the reasons why many of us homeschool is to be able to help our children choose better friends. But that doesn't mean that the friends that are chosen are going to be lifelong amazing friends. There's still going to be some drama there. And as mothers, we end up getting sucked in because often we are friends with the mom and then things go south or something happens and we feel attacked because something's going on with our child. And so it brings this whole other level of like feeling ick and really not being able to sort of sort out some of those feelings. And again, I'm not perfect at it. I look at my temperament. I am very choleric sanguine. So I would say the choleric in me is like, no nonsense. I just would rather you tell me you don't like me than, than lead me on and make me think that you don't and then be passive aggressive. The sanguine in me, though, can be like, because I can jump from place to place, I have to really work on being in that place of how are you rather than just jumping into a conversation, right? Like being in that like reciprocal space. So I would really examine your temperament when it comes to any conflict that you may be having with friends. And also look at your history, look at other situations throughout your life. You're not a young girl anymore, so think about other friendships that this may have happened with. And is there reflection space there where you can ask yourself, what do I need to learn because I didn't learn it these other times? What thread is the same? And how can I go forward making friends so that I show up as my best self? And maybe I'm more discerning about who it is that I'm becoming friends with. And I think that discernment part is really important. Again, many of us homeschool so that we can sort of choose the situations our kids are in. But we also have to choose the families that we are friends with. I've known many people on my homeschooling journey in the past, 30 years that didn't really like. And that's okay. Often my kids like their kids, and that makes it harder. But that doesn't mean that they can't hang out together. It just might mean that you might be a little more guarded in how much information that family has and how much time they spend together. So look at your values. Do you have common shared values? If the things that are most important to you are not reflected in that other person, it might not be a great relationship. So other things to ask yourself, do you, or do the other person too, not just you, have issues with codependence? That can happen so often, or we are so dependent on the other person, or they're so dependent on us, and it doesn't feel right. So, ask yourself those questions. And when it comes time to be done with a relationship, be okay with it. It's so hard. Nobody likes confrontation, but two temperaments really don't like confrontation. Melancholics don't like confrontation, and phlegmatics don't like confrontation. Us cholerics will be confrontational all day long. It doesn't make it fun, but we will absolutely push back. So you want to like know your audience when you are confronting a situation. Don't let things fester. Did so-and-so say something that really rubbed you the wrong way? Well, ask. Step forward and say like, well, you said this and I just want to check because it doesn't feel like it's within the values that you and I have in our relationship. Did I hear you wrong? Oh, wait, I didn't hear you wrong. Okay, well, then I have to make other decisions for that, other decisions. And so I think that, when we're sort of looking at these relationships, like really like use that discernment muscle, and inner work is so important. Inner work is that piece that really allows us to understand who we are. And when we understand who we are, then we start to be able to understand other people. And we can see that a lot of other people are not doing their inner work. And so if you are heavily working on yourself, but other people are not, that is a huge red flag as far as how deep you go with the relationship. Doesn't mean you can't be friends, but it probably means you should be careful what you share with them, because you don't want that to come back to you. You don't want that to be a situation where they use that against you. So, I think about a couple of different situations that I've had in my life that when the relationships ended, it was incredibly hurtful and, and shocked me. Like three that come up in my mind most often. And those are the three that I have to tell you because they are the ones that come up most often. Those are also the ones that I'm always reflecting on. How can I not be in that spot again? And so I think of one, had a dear friend many years ago. We talked just about every day. We were both homeschooling moms. We talked super often, and it was we really enjoyed each other. Well, then, I was in fighting with my ex-husband and in court, and I ended up allowing my second son to go and live with my ex. And she refused to talk to me after that. And that was like, I remember feeling like, okay, I just did the hardest thing. Sending my son to live with his father was the hardest thing I've ever done. That was, he's turning 26 this year. So that was 12 years ago. No, it wasn't 12 years ago. Just kidding. That was 10 years ago. And when I did it, again, the hardest thing I've ever done, but now I have the best relationship with him that I've ever had. And so that was a necessary piece. He had pieces that he had to fulfill. And what was hard at the time was this dear friend who was my best friend abandoned me. And that was really hard for me. Thankfully, my best friend was never a woman. My best friend is my husband. So that's something to think about too. If your best friend is not your partner, you probably want to work on that. So when it happened, I remember, Eric's definitely comforting me, helping me through that piece because it was really hard. It was really hard. And I struggled with that for weeks. Another situation where I had a friend who, all of a sudden we were not in the same area. We were like long distance friends, and I hadn't heard from her for a long time. And I just messaged her one day and I was like, I haven't heard from you. I hope you're doing okay. Well, she wasn't doing okay. And she didn't reach out to me when she lost her dad. She had lost her father, and she was upset that I didn't know that she lost her dad. So that was a place for me as, somebody that's got a high sanguine personality to be like, oh, wait, if I don't hear from somebody that I'm talking to regularly, this might sound like not rocket science to you, but if I don't hear from somebody that I talk to regularly, all of a sudden, I should make sure I ping them, because this person, particularly a melancholic personality, she thought that meant I abandoned her. And I didn't, I just didn't know. And so, I didn't know that there was turmoil in her life. I had supported her through some really tough things, and I was really surprised that she didn't reach out to me. And so, we have to sort of look at all aspects of it. And it definitely helps to have some distance. So that's why I think it's important that you look at past relationships where things may have gone south, and you ask yourself, like, hey, what things were going on there, and can I see the whole picture now? Not just my part, the other person's part, maybe what was going on in their life, what was going on in my life. Another situation was something that actually happened just about 5 years ago, where another dear friend, somebody that I put a lot of energy into, that I was doing a lot of work with, both, personally having fun, and we were doing some business work. And then COVID happened, and we were completely on opposite ends. And while it was okay for me, it wasn't okay for her. And that was like a really hard situation. I remember at the time, because we had put all of our articles in storage because we were trying to figure out where we wanted to live. So all of our stuff was in storage in San Diego. We were on the road, we were checking out Arizona, and we were trying to decide if we wanted to keep going. And we ended up staying in Arizona for 18 months. But I remember, I remember being on the phone in a hotel bathroom, just bawling over a misunderstanding, and me realizing, oh, wait, this is done, and there's nothing I can do to save it. And that, from that point, like that understanding within myself, that realization, I had two choices. I could either be a chaser. I don't want to be a chaser because that looks pathetic. So don't be a chaser. Or two, I could ask God, what am I supposed to learn from this? And in doing that, I ended up having such peace. So after every time that there's been some sort of upheaval or drama in my life in that way, I've stepped back and said, okay, what am I supposed to learn? And then what's beautiful is once you get some more distance, you can see how if you had stayed in that spot with that friend, all of these other blessings that you've had since then couldn't have come. So when I say a reason, a season, a lifetime, you are going to have those friends that are here for a reason, just for a short, like you had something to learn from them. You're going to have friends that are here for a longer season. Situations where, maybe you're young mothers together or teenage mothers together. And then you also have those friends that you've had, probably you might have a couple of them since you were a young kid. And those ones, the ones that are your lifetime friends, those are the ones that even if you don't talk for 2 years, you can pick up the phone and call them. And it's just like you just talked yesterday. So sort out who those people are in your life. And if you don't have any lifetime friends, it's okay. Maybe you just haven't made them yet. That's what's so beautiful. As you are walking through life, you have this opportunity to meet new people every day and to make new connections every day. So remember, do your inner work, be kind to yourself, and ask yourself, what's my part in this? And if there's not if you're truly not at fault, it's okay to say, I'm not at fault. If you are at fault, it's okay to reflect on what you did or didn't do. In many of my situations, it's been like, oh, I didn't see that like giant red flag. And once I saw the giant red flag in retrospect, oh, wow, I'm so glad that I didn't run back after that. Because gosh, I look at all the blessings I've had since then. So truly take the time to examine within yourself, and just allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to make rules for yourself about your own friendships. Allow yourself to not get close to somebody right away. If that needs to heal even more, allow yourself to, put the brakes on something that maybe doesn't feel right. Allow that within yourself and be of good cheer, because I'm pretty sure you're amazing. And just because that person dropped you, doesn't want to be your friend anymore, it's just probably not a reflection on them or on you. It's probably a reflection on them. You are much better than you allow yourself to be. You're much stronger than you allow yourself to be. So go tell yourself in the mirror how much you love yourself and truly be of good cheer because you are amazing. I hope that's helpful. And if you haven't found that lifetime friend, they're probably just hanging out around the corner, waiting for you to be in a spot to find them.
Are you looking for a company that checks all the boxes? Waldorf Essentials provides homeschool curriculum written by homeschoolers for homeschoolers. We provide many options from digital to hard copies and individual blocks. Visit waldorfessentials.com.